Stop touching things.
Hey everyone, I'm Rebecca and welcome to Watch Mojo. Today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 Baby Yoda moments.
Thought you said you weren't the gambler.
I'm not.
For this list, we're looking at the cutest, funniest, and most memorable moments featuring the child, aka Baby Yoda, aka Grogu, from the Disney Plus original series The Mandalorian. This probably goes without saying, but a giant spoiler alert is now in effect. So, what's your favorite Baby Yoda moment? Be sure to let us know in the comments. All right, let's get into it.
Number 20, revealing himself to the mechanic.
And I'm gonna raise you 3 bolts and a motivator.
With a price on his head and the entire Bounty Hunters Guild out to get him, Mando needs to keep a low profile. Unfortunately, the child also seems to be on their most wanted list. Given that Baby Yoda sticks out like a little green thumb, Mando wants him to keep a low profile. Unfortunately, the child loves him some attention, and so while Mando is away in Mos Eisley, Baby Yoda introduces himself to Peli Motto and her droids. His strange noises put the jumpy mechanic on edge at first, but once he steps out of the shadows, he instantly endears himself to the surly local.
I'd stay in that ship if I were you!
Honestly, who can blame her?
Did that bounty hunter leave you all alone in that big nasty ship?
Number 19, sneaking up on Q90.
0 to Mayfeld. Mayfeld, do you copy?
Whenever you see Baby Yoda walking, it's an incredibly slow shuffle. And yet, he's constantly popping up in unlikely places. We can't figure out whether he has a quicker mode of getting around that he just keeps to himself, or if he's just so quiet that nobody hears him coming. Either way, he's clearly far more capable than he lets on. Of his various disappearing and reappearing acts, this is arguably the best to date. Left on the ship with Q90 while Mando assists a prison break, the child unexpectedly pops up behind the droid.
You are on your own. Curious.
As soon as Zero reaches for his rifle, however, the child is gone. A deadly game of hide and seek ensues, but by the time the droid finds him, Mando's come home. Number 18, scared Baby Yoda. The child may be small, but his youthful curiosity and bold attitude mean that he rarely displays obvious signs of fear. For this, we should all be thankful, because in episode 3, on one of the rare occasions in which he genuinely appeared frightened, it was unbearable. To see such a precious little creature visibly scared is enough to break your heart. And his little cries he's taken away, that's how you shatter even the coldest heart into a million little pieces. Thankfully, the child's cry appeared to have just that effect on Mando, and he ultimately goes back to rescue the little guy from the client and Dr. Pershing. Number 17, Snuggling with Mando. The child and our helmeted hero have shared a few sweet moments over the course of the series, but rarely has there been such an overt display of physical affection between the two.
Nap time.
After a messy crash landing on the icy planet Maldo Kreese, Din Djarin, the child, and their frog-like passenger struggle to get some shut-eye in the inhospitable environment. Following the frog lady's cue with her container of eggs, Baby Yoda snuggles up with Mando. We don't imagine that Beskar armor is especially comfortable, but it's the sentiment that counts. And the sight of the child nuzzling into his surrogate father figure is enough to make you melt. Number 16, being babysat. Bounty hunters tend to be solitary beings. As such, Mando has had to make a lot of adjustments to his life since the child came into it. Baby Yoda has tagged along for a number of adventures, but when the mission is an explicitly dangerous one, Din Djarin has a habit of leaving the child with a friend for his own safety. After Baby Yoda repeatedly snacked on the frog lady's unfertilized eggs, we all collectively prepared ourselves for the worst when Mando left him with the frog parents. Thankfully, Baby Yoda is sweet with the newly hatched tadpole and shows no interest in eating the frog lady's actual offspring. It's a nice bit of redemption for the adorable little guy. Number 15. Mando uses Baby Yoda's real name. Mando, like the rest of us, was fairly taken aback to learn that the child has a real name, and that it's Grogu.
Grogu?
Regardless of whether you like the name or not, there's no denying that the child's reaction to hearing it said aloud is priceless.
Grogu.
Mando has a lot of great qualities, but a sense of humor isn't the first thing that comes to mind. You can tell here, however, that he seriously gets a kick out of repeatedly getting Grogu's attention on command. Finally!
Give me the ball. Grogu. Give me the ball. Come on.
This is also just a rather adorable moment of bonding that reminds us that despite his tough exterior, Mando wants to see the child succeed. The cuteness is strong with these two. Number 14. Baby Yoda wants to come too. It's something of a running gag throughout the first season of The Mandalorian that Baby Yoda does what he wants. No matter how many times Mando tells him to stay put, there's nothing that Baby Yoda likes more than to follow the big guy around.
Don't touch anything. I'll find us some lodging, and I'll come back for you. You stay right here.
When the unlikely duo lands on Sorgan, Mando gives the child clear orders to remain on the Razor Crest. Cut to an exterior shot of the ship's door opening, and sure enough, Baby Yoda is standing right there beside him, ready to explore. Only 4 episodes in, and Mando has already developed a serious soft spot for his young ward, as made clear by the way he almost immediately caves and lets Baby Yoda tag along.
What the hell? Come on.
Number 13. Imitating Mando.
Worst case scenario, you tune up your blaster. Best case, we're a deterrent.
Baby Yoda is so freaking cute that even when standing perfectly still, he elicits awes from those around him, not to mention the millions of Disney Plus subscribers. But when he turns on the charms like he did in episode 4, well, it's enough to make you weep. On Sorgan, it seems that Mando and Baby Yoda have found themselves a safe place where they can let their guard down. In a rare moment of peace and quiet for the mismatched pair, Mando leans back in the bed of a speeder and allows himself to just appreciate the night sky. And wouldn't you know it, the impressionable little green guy mimics his de facto guardian. It's a fleeting moment, but a beautiful one. Number 12. Going to school. We didn't really notice it until this episode, but overall, Star Wars rarely makes mention of any sort of educational system.
A school?
Things have changed a lot around here.
Sure, there's the Jedi Academy, but what about all the non-Force sensitive kids out there? Well, we can't imagine a better candidate for taking us to Star Wars school than Baby Yoda. He's only there for a day, but he makes a big impression. He not only turns heads as the new kid, but he also manages to get into some trouble and teach one classmate a tough lesson in sharing. The child's look of satisfaction while munching on his stolen cookies, even during combat, will never get old.
Hang on, kid.
Number 11. Octopus Broth. Mando has taken it upon himself to protect the child from those who would do him harm. But as we've seen when push comes to shove, Baby Yoda can often hold his own. After their encounter with those spider creatures, it would seem that the child's confidence has taken a hit. When a bowl of food is put in front of the youngling, you expect a repeat of his broth-slurping antics from Season 1. Instead, to his horror and ours, a small octopus-type thing leaps out of the broth and attaches itself to Baby Yoda's face.
Don't play with your food.
It's a nice callback to the previous episode that plays on the viewer's fears and expectations. Mando, however, hilariously dismisses the danger. These two sure love broth. Number 10. The child and Ahsoka speak. Based on everything we've seen him do, it's clear that, appearances aside, Baby Yoda has got more going on than the average toddler. Of his many strengths and abilities, however, language skills are not among them. Beyond some adorable cooing and exclamatory noises, he's not very vocal. After meeting Ahsoka Tano, sidebar, huge moment, we finally learn Baby Yoda's backstory. Ahsoka and the child communicate non-verbally, seemingly using the Force to drop a wealth of information. We learn that the child came from the Jedi temple on Coruscant, and that his name is Grogu. It's also charming to see them sitting there staring at each other.
Is he speaking? Do you understand him?
In a way.
This was an episode of multiple big moments, as we also get to see Ahsoka test the child. He sure loves that metal ball.
Come on. You can have it. Come on. Good job. Good job, kid.
Number 9. Getting scared and angry. After being taken by Moff Gideon's troops, Baby Yoda is none too happy. He and Mando have been doing a bit of Force practice, but as we've seen in the past, emotion is the biggest factor when it comes to the child's abilities. The toddler is clearly upset and distraught at having been ripped away from his surrogate father, and he takes it out on the stormtroopers tasked with guarding him. Ahsoka warned Mando that she sensed fear in Grogu, in a speech reminiscent of how Yoda described Anakin. Well, here's that anger and fear on full display.
Have to stop.
Wait.
It's pretty satisfying to see Grogu tossing his captors around, but it's also a reminder that this young being needs affection and guidance. Number 8. Baby Yoda and the eggs. We know that this generated a bit of backlash, but honestly, it fits with Baby Yoda's character. Toddlers are always getting up to mischief. As for his penchant for eating frogs, that's already been well established. We'll get there in a minute.
No. That is not food.
In this horror-heavy episode, Baby Yoda's overwhelming desire to consume the Frog Lady's eggs felt like a perfectly twisted bit of humor to lighten the mood without completely abandoning that darker tone. And the little guy is seriously obsessed.
Let's gather these up.
Following the crash, a panicked Din Djarin rushes to find Baby Yoda, only to find him not in danger as he feared, but once again going for the eggs.
How many did you eat?
For the record, it has been clarified that the eggs were unfertilized. Number 7. Having fun in the crash.
Keep it steady, here we go.
Imagine you're in a spaceship hurtling towards the surface of a planet. The craft is in rough shape, and there's clearly some doubt as to whether it can even land safely. Pretty tense moment, right? We're not sure what exactly is going through Baby Yoda's head while in freefall, but it doesn't look or sound like fear.
You have to reduce speed.
Almost there. Almost there.
Ranger crest, do you copy?
Does he have blind faith in his protector? Does his connection to the Force give him some sort of clairvoyance? Or is he just too young to understand the, well, gravity of the situation? Whatever the case, while Mando is white-knuckling the sketchy crash landing, the child is clearly having the time of his life. I guess it's kind of like a ride on the Disney Tower of Terror.
Here we go. Nice and easy.
Number 6. Repeatedly trying to heal Mando. We'll be talking more about Baby Yoda's Force abilities later, but first, let's discuss this adorable bit of foreshadowing. The Mandalorian has been put through the ringer, first against the Nikto mercenaries from whom he liberated the child, and then in his rumble with the Trandoshans who ambushed them en route to his ship. As night falls, the Mandalorian attempts to clean and patch up a nasty wound on his arm, only to discover that Baby Yoda has snuck up on him. The child's arm is stretched out towards the wound, and his brow is furrowed in concentration. It's an adorable effort, and the fact that he tries not once but twice is a real testament to the little guy's can-do attitude. Of course, the child really puts this skill to use in Chapter 7, when he heals a seriously wounded Greef Karga. Number 5. Catching frogs again. Baby Yoda threw viewers a curveball in the second episode when, after adorably chasing after a frog, he proceeded to gobble up the amphibian whole.
Hey, spit that out.
Talk about an appetite. It was a hilarious gross-out moment, and one that made quite an impression on fans. Arguably even better, however, was the throwback that occurred 2 episodes later on Sorgan. While playing with the local kids, the child manages to catch his favorite snack. When his new friends see him with frog legs hanging out of his mouth, however, they are both amused and disgusted, causing the little dude to become visibly embarrassed. It's an emotion we hadn't seen from the child up to this point, and the way he spits out the frog is priceless. Number 4. Messing with the ship.
Now listen, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna look around.
If you've ever been around a toddler, you know all too well just how much they like playing with things that they're not supposed to touch. Every button, switch, and random object is something new and exciting. It's as if the entire world is their playpen. But it's safe to say that a spaceship, especially one belonging to a bounty hunter, is not the sort of place where a child should be playing around.
Stop touching things.
Safety concerns be damned, though. Baby Yoda loves to push buttons aboard the Razor Crest. And while Mando is initially frustrated by the child stealing the ball from a lever, he eventually gives in and lets Baby Yoda play with it. Hey, it beats him pushing buttons with real consequences. Number 3. Slurping Bone Broth.
You want some soup?
He might be small and slow-moving, but Baby Yoda has a knack for showing up in the most unexpected places and getting there quicker than you'd expect. After following the mysterious Cara Dune outside, the Mandalorian and the former Rebel shock trooper wind up in a nasty brawl that, if we're being totally honest, didn't seem to be going well for our titular hero. Their fight ends in a stalemate with pistols drawn, and it's in this moment of silence that they see, or rather hear, that they've got an audience. We suspect that the stalemate could have quickly evolved into round 2 had the child not cut the tension in such a hilarious and effective way. Number 2. The reunion and farewell. When the child was kidnapped, it was heartbreaking. But the separation between Mando and Baby Yoda also put into perspective just how deep a bond they formed. And it was amazing to see the lengths to which Mando was willing to go to save his ward. The actual moment of reunion doesn't leave much room for sentimentality, what with Moff Gideon wielding the darksaber.
Drop the blaster. Slowly.
But the entire Season 2 finale operates as one big reunion. The cherry on top? Mando literally diving to take blaster fire for the child. No sooner are they reunited, however, that they once again must say goodbye. Cue the waterworks.
All right, pal. It's time to go.
But hey, seeing Grogu carried away by Luke Skywalker sure softened the blow. Still, we hope there's another reunion. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Saving Mando. When any member of Yoda's mysterious species shows up in the Star Wars universe, canon or legend, Force sensitivity is one of the very first questions that comes to mind.
Was it injured?
I don't think so. Not physically.
And after planting the seed earlier in the episode when Yoda tried healing Mando, all signs pointed towards this adorable creature having a connection to the Force. Yet even with that foreshadowing, few viewers out there could have expected such a remarkable display from such a small creature, who, regardless of age, still appears to be an infant. The Mandalorian is undeniably a great warrior, but the Mudhorns seemingly had him beat. Had the child not pushed his Force abilities to the point of exhaustion, this show would have ended after just 2 episodes.
Are you a fan of Baby Yoda's cute moments or badass moments? Either way, let us know in the comments, or come tell me on Twitter or Instagram at Rebecca Brayton, or on my YouTube channel. See ya!